Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a version of the Lange Söhne Little Lange one, launched in 2018. This watch right here is advertised by Lange as being for slender wrists. It's considered a mid-size, not a lady's watch. The dial is not just real rose lathe guilloché, but this is a rare solid gold dial from a Lange Söhne. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The Little Lange one is 36.8 millimeters in diameter compared to a standard Lange one, which is 38.5. This watch is 9.6 millimeters thick and it is 43.9 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on the wrist, and my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it wears quite nicely. Being almost 37 millimeters in diameter, it's a fairly traditional men's dress watch size, although it's compact compared to other Lange 1 models and other Lange watches. I would not consign this to the ladies' watch category, as this is easily the kind of watch a more, shall we say, under the radar and conservative collector, very much the Teutonic sensibility, would actually prefer. I would recommend this watch for a wrist no larger than 17 centimeters circumference, but I would also say that there is no lower limit for wearing this watch. It'll wear well on a small wrist, and again, my wrist is 16 centimeters, and the watch is thin enough to easily slide underneath a dress cuff. Let's take one quick look down the barrel. Now strap and buckle. The buckle is an unusual choice for Lange. As you can see, this is a Lange strap. It's calfskin on the bottom, it's gator on the top, but it's a bonded design, so there's no stitching. This is a bonded strap construction. You can see it's a brand new Lange factory strap, medium brown on the top, semi-gloss. You can see no gouging or crimping. We have a buckle in matching rose gold, and this is a smart piece. You can see that there's a retaining bar inside. That's for people who have really small wrists, and if you're wearing this watch, that might be you. If you use the smallest hole or you even punch a smaller hole, you'll find that the retaining bar is there to prevent the watch from getting stuck on your wrist, because you know when you strap a watch down tightly, sometimes the strap gets pinned on the pin. We also have a little elevated bridge design so that when you put the strap inside the buckle, you can see that the strap actually sits inside the buckle rather than stacking up underneath. That's because the bridge is above the prongs. This sits internally rather than sitting beneath. It's a small element that contributes to the elegance and fit of the watch. The case is simple, all of high polish with a conical profile to the bezel. Really, I would say it's more domed than conical, but the bezel also has a vertical portion, so you see it goes from erect to domed. The flank is sheer. Cylindrical case. We have the Lange branded crown, a push-down crown. All of this is 30 meters water resistant. We have a pusher corrector for the date. And then we have stepped lugs. This is a Lange case signature. So you can see the watch includes a hacking or stop seconds function. It has a power reserve indicator that goes from down to up. It is a 2-barrel movement with a 72-hour reserve de manche. The frame for the date, the hands for the indications, the indices, as well as the Roman numerals are in rose golds. They will not fade or tarnish over time. The dial uses a lovely rose lathe guilloché cut on a traditional engine. You can see it's a handsome Havana brown metallic, and then the dial base is not the sterling silver that's conventionally used on Lange watches. When you see this kind of elaborate guilloché on something like the Little Lange 1 or the Lange 1A from the 90s, this is a solid gold disc, often used as a platform for guilloché. Solid gold is a better material to work than silver for traditional rose lathe craft, and it's easy to work. It's beautiful when wrought. The result is always pleasing. And you can see that there are a couple of different patterns here. Sections have been left for scales, nameplates. We have a dental molding outboard of the track for the hours. We have a small rosette inside the hours and minutes. We have a smaller rosette inside the seconds. And then we have another one that emanates out from an imaginary center of the dial. Flipping it all over is a modern caliber designed for the modern Lange 1. This is the caliber L121-1, manual wind, 2 barrels, 72-hour power reserve, a 3 hertz beat rate or 6 beats per second. You can see it does feature stop seconds. It has a modern free sprung balance, the latest tech at Lange, allowing for a precise 5-position adjustment. The watch is a beautifully decorated homage to the era of pocket watchmaking in East Germany. The watch is made in Glashütte, that's where Lange has been based historically. And so we have this large 3/4 plate like you'd have on a pocket watch. The bridges and plates are sort of gold-hued, which is a nickel-copper zinc alloy called German silver. The copper gives it that golden hue. We have little jewels that hold pivots and barrel arbors, and those jewels are fixed in place by blued screws. These are called chatons, and they are a nod to the era when watchmaking was insufficiently precise to press jewels directly into bridges and plates. So a little precision golden chaton would be created, the jewel would be pressed into that, and that would be seated in the bridges using screws. Note we have both black polished and fired blued screws. We have Glashütte stripes. They're not Geneva waves, not in Germany. Across the bridge, you can see that the balance cock has been freehand engraved. The cover to the escape wheel and the swan's neck regulator are both black polished, and we have mirrored anglage on the few but well-finished edges of bridges present. And of course, there's engine turning on the base plate. All of this is 30 meters water resistant. You, once again, set the date. The quick set system is a pusher adjuster for the panorama datum, which is a signature of the Lange manufacturer. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.